Welcome to the 5th annual conference focused on cybersecurity and government. We have 2,000 people registered to this conference. Thank you for your interest. And actually, it's really reflective of how important cybersecurity is now in our daily lives. The headlines, what's happening in our cities, what's happening to the critical infrastructure and the attacks that you see happening every day, whether you're in the cloud, whether you're running your own data center, the changing face of networking as you respond to the new architecture that's creating, open vulnerabilities that we didn't anticipate in the past. And frankly, an environment where our capability and our human talent is actually not able to keep up with the change of threats. Because what's happening now is the quality of and the type of threat that we're facing as a nation, as an industry, is quite different than what was occurring many years ago. It's much more automated. It's much more intelligent. If you go back to just the recent incidents that you've read about in the press, so much of the cybersecurity breaches that occurred actually lay dormant for a while. And it activated under certain conditions, moved sideways, escalated privileges, established command and control over a much longer period of time. And our ability to correlate all of that, connect the data together, try and find that needle in the haystack gets increasingly difficult. So I've been on board here for a year. I don't come from this industry. I come from the cloud industry. But actually, I see a convergence between what we're doing here. We can harness the power of the cloud to deliver better cybersecurity. But in many ways, we have to reimagine what we've been working on over the last many years. All the known threats and the signatures we've created and the products that we have in our environments actually have done their job. Now like I said, we're dealing with a new type of threat. And as we expand into areas like cloud and IoT, the physical world and the virtual world are coming together. The environment that we have to support and manage and secure and protect is actually much more expansionary today than it was 5 or 6 years ago. Yet, the stack of products that we've started to use and we built up over a period of time is actually not able to keep up with this new environment. Just having breakfast with a few of you, and many of you are looking to rationalize your stack and say, look, how do we do more with fewer things in our environment, whether that's a physical data center or it's a cloud deployment? Because it's almost impossible to keep up with 20, 30, 40, or in some cases at an agency, 100 different products in cybersecurity. You'll be spending all your time and energy just keeping them maintained and upgraded and integrated and trying to extract data from them and make sense of that in your SOC. So it's a time to rethink. And frankly, that's what we've been doing at Palo Alto Networks. We're grateful for your support and your participation and partnership in this journey. And we are in investment mode in this company. And I want to just share with you for a few minutes the way we're thinking about the future. We're thinking about it in 3 pillars: securing the enterprise, securing the journey to the cloud, and securing the future by transforming the SOC. Overall, across the company, we've increased our engineering capacity in 1 year by 50%. We're in deep product investment mode. In securing the enterprise, as you know, many of you know us as a physical provider of firewalls. We've taken that capability, created virtual firewalls. Many of you use that. And actually now deploying that capability as a cloud-delivered service. So your mobile users, your branches, your far-flung operations can actually leverage the same policy and security infrastructure that you've been working on for your own data centers for the last decade, delivered as a service. We're making these firewalls, physical, virtual, or cloud-delivered, more intelligent, more connected, more resilient, more automated, and delivering more capabilities on top of that platform so you can start to reduce the amount of infrastructure, physical or virtual, that you have to rely on. Most recently, we acquired Zingbox, which is a leading provider of IoT security, and the intention here is to deliver that as a service on the firewall so you can manage all your connected IoT devices from one place. Secondly, and this is an area where we've made most of our investments that are inorganic, is in the area of cloud security. So, it's exciting to see the government taking not just initial steps, but in many cases transforming the agencies by taking advantage of cloud. And while people are doing that, many are actually rebuilding and replatforming and reimagining the workloads. It's not just a lift and shift anymore. When you move to the cloud, you move to a shared responsibility model where the cloud provider provides security for the capability of physical and virtual security for the stack that they manage. But the application security, user security, endpoint security still continue to be responsibilities for all of us in this industry. And we built the preeminent suite in this to take advantage of any type of workload that you have, whether that's traditional organic computing and in the lift and shift model, native architecture, whether it's you're replatforming and building containers, or using serverless technology. Across any of the cloud products out there, including your hybrid cloud offering that allows you to use your own data center in collaboration with a cloud product. The acquisitions we made in this space, which is Redlock for visibility, asset inventory, API security, et cetera. Twistlock to enable you to do container security as you're rebuilding and replatforming your workloads, or PureSec, which is the leading provider of serverless security. We're putting all those together into an integrated suite, which we believe allows you to take the capability that you've spent the last many decades building, and as you replatform, not have to compromise on the type of architecture you choose. You can decide to put your workload, your data, your web servers, your application servers, wherever you'd like. We will do the heavy lifting of actually protecting that workload, just like we did in securing the enterprise with our physical and virtual firewalls. The third area that we made a lot of investment in is the SOC. Today, I was in fact talking to one of the agencies yesterday that has many SOCs with different security stacks, different products. And if you go to any of these SOCs today, it's 10 different screens where our SOC operators are human systems integrators. They look at timestamps across the different products, try and collect all of that data, try and then make sense of it and say, which one of these alerts should I remediate first? And the alert backlog is so long, even in commercial customers, it's taking not just days, but weeks and months to remediate an alert. Because guess what we've done as an industry? You have 60 products, each of them has an alert. The alert goes into some sort of SIM, and then you have to figure out which ones of those are the important ones and that have to be actioned now. Very, very hard to do. We believe there's a better way. Over the last many years, we've worked on integrating our own data across firewall and endpoint, collapsing all that data so we can get intelligent about the alerts, and then be able to take and, using AI, correlate the most important events and make that available to you as a prioritized list. So those SOC operators can actually action the most important alerts first. This product, Cortex XDR, actually I'm proud to say, is now going through FedRAMP initial certification, both the endpoint and the Cortex product, and something for you to consider as you're thinking about redesigning your SOC operations. As importantly, what do we do to bring automation, which is essentially a software fight? Because most of the hackers and the folks who are attacking our infrastructure are not sitting there trying to get in one at a time. Almost everything they do is now automated. And so automation has been one of those rallying cries. With a lack of talent, frankly, in cybersecurity and in government, it's time for us to consider different ways of dealing with the human capacity challenge that we have. And so we acquired Demisto, which is a leading product in security, automation, and orchestration. Works with your entire infrastructure, not just Palo Alto networks. Allows your SOC operators to actually take all the different incidents, package it up, and make it available so that they can take action faster. And as importantly, they have these pre-built runbooks, best practices across the industry that can allow you to do basic if-then-else logic and take action in your diverse parts of your infrastructure so you don't have to worry about those lower-level alerts, and the SOC operators can spend their time investigating the threats that really matter. So those are the three vectors of our investment: securing the enterprise, making it more resilient, making it more software-centric as a cloud-delivered service, allowing you to take advantage of all our subscriptions so that you can manage IoT from a single place, protecting you as you take your journey to the cloud with the best-in-class suite, and then lastly, making your SOC operations more efficient and more automated. Now, we've had a great partnership with folks in agencies across the country, whether it's federal or state. We're seeing strong adoption of all of these products, so thank you for your confidence. We take a lot of our responsibility as a partner of choice very, very seriously. Like I said, our products, our Wildfire product, which is threat protection, has been FedRAMP certified. Our other products like Cortex XDR and Traps, which is our endpoint product, is going through FedRAMP initial certification. We take supply chain security very, very seriously. You'll hear about that later on. We manufacture all our products in the United States because we think it's actually a really important signal and a really important asset, and our intellectual property is very important for us to protect. And then lastly, our Unit 42 threat practice has been collaborating with many of your agencies around the country, including most recently the LA FBI to take down a set of Nigerian hackers who are doing bad things to us. And so we're very, very proud of that partnership, very proud of the work we've done, and as I said, very grateful for your support for our company and this very important mission that we are working on together. Today is going to be fun. It's a great day. I've looked at the agenda. And this is set up as a very different conference. You'll hear a lot about best practices in the industry at the tactical edge. You'll hear about 5G. You'll hear about supply chain security. You'll hear about how other agencies are doing zero trust. You'll obviously hear a bit more about the details of our product roadmap. And then we have breakouts. You can go to cloud security breakout. You can go around the SOC automation breakout. And we are actually grateful also to our partners who are in the audience, because we don't do all of this ourselves. We have our SI, SP, and GSI partnerships who actually make up a lot of the service delivery capability that all of you use. So again, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for being partners of us, and enjoy the rest of FedIgnite. Thanks.